Buenos ding dong diddly dias, dummies. This is Matt and my lovely wife Alia at the Telluride Horror Show, about to kick off day 3. But first we're going to run down the movies we saw on day 2. I know I look like a bag of smashed assholes, but that's kind of what happens when you spend 2 days in a movie theater with very little sleep. And this time I'm doing it mostly without alcohol, so that's not a factor this time. So
it should be easier without alcohol.
Should be, but it's not. Something about the altitude makes me really sleepy and makes me fart a lot. So I don't know.
I think it's the altitude.
Yeah. So we're going to run down the movies that we watched on day 2 of the Telluride Horror Show. We could have made it to 6 movies, but we only made it to 4 because one I wasn't interested in, and the other we were a little tired.
We were going to the midnight screening too, the latest showing, so we're gonna make sure we were rested, so there's no head nodding in the theater and missing of any Lords of Chaos.
Yeah, the last couple of years I've slept through the movies that I've wanted to see the most because they're late at night and I'm exhausted. I wanted to make sure that didn't happen. So do you want to start
backwards?
Beginning?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Let's go backwards again. I mean, we can name the movies first.
So I guess we're starting with the last movie we saw, which is probably the best movie we saw.
It's jumped up to the top of my list for this year so far.
So we saw Lords of Chaos, which is the one movie from the whole festival that I've been looking forward to for a long time.
Yeah.
I read the book. I'm a fan of black metal. I'm very familiar with the events that happened that led up to the book and the subsequent movie. Alia, what did you think of Lords of Chaos? We just said.
Yeah, no, I really liked it. It's kind of perfect.
I mostly agree. Like I said, I'm familiar with the events, and the events were very brutal when they actually happened. And I was worried that with Rory Culkin being in this and the subject matter and a lot of people's disinterest in black metal, that they were going to take a lot of liberties with the story and make it more palatable for general audiences. And I don't think they did that. I think they kept it very fucking true, very fucking cult. There are some scenes in it that are incredibly graphic.
A lot of scenes that are very graphic.
Yeah, there are a lot of nude scenes in it.
Yeah,
there's a
I
bit.
Guess, yeah.
Honestly, and without having actually been in Norway,
it did not feel like 2 hours long.
It did not, no. And without having been in Norway in the early 90s and actually seeing these things firsthand, reading the book, they played out on screen exactly the way I thought they would.
One thing real quick. How many fucking church sets do you think they burned filming
God.
this movie?
I did wonder about that because, there's probably a good 6 churches that get set on fire.
So many fucking church sets and set them on fire. It's amazing.
Well, see, that's what I want to know. Did they actually burn a church set?
No, they're not church is gonna live.
No, not an actual church. Did they build and burn a church set? Yeah. Was it CGI fire? I want to know.
Probably the really gorgeous old looking, from the outside might have been CGI, I guess. It didn't, I don't know.
Well,
yeah,
either
it might
way.
have been. It was really good, well done though.
If you're into black metal, lots of murder, church burnings, or boobs.
Or if you're generally morbid or feel like you may have always been, you'll probably enjoy this movie.
Yeah, this movie is right up your alley. I definitely recommend it.
However, one caveat for that, there's also a graphic suicide.
Yeah. So
if you have... if you're triggered by something like that, I don't think you
might want to steer
this fucking
clear.
Movie, yeah,
but
because it was very it will put you in that moment.
Yeah, and if you're a black metal fan, there's tons of early Mayhem and Burzum and stuff in it, and they could have easily added in music from other bands of the time, but they didn't. They kind of just stuck to the bands that were. Mostly relevant.
And I mean, there was a lot of music in it, but I didn't. It was all a lot of background too.
Yeah,
because a lot of events are happening.
Like Mayhem and Burzum.
Yeah.
Before that, we watched The Head.
The boat.
The
We're
Head,
watching
not
today.
the boat.
The boat we're watching today. My bad.
Nothing like The Boat.
Yeah, no.
Although, I mean, both movies are like one person.
And probably low budget, I think, with the boat being all filmed on the boat.
I'm going to go first. I fucking loved The Head. I was so worried I wasn't going to like it because of the things you hear. Like, it's super low budget. It's really beautiful. It's like one person carrying the whole movie. Basically, it's all these things that...
There's only 3 people who ever appear in the front of the camera.
One of them is a little girl who has one line.
One scene.
Yeah.
Very short scene.
Another one is a guy
the archer from like 100 meters away who peeks out, throws an arrow, and then like goes back to the castle.
Yeah,
That's it. It's the messenger.
It's mostly the one dude. And
but wow, does he carry this film on his shoulders. Holy shit. By the way, also, the dialogue in The Head can be fit probably on half a piece of normal ass paper.
Yeah, it could probably be fit on a 3x5.
Yeah, like there's almost no dialogue in this movie at all, and yet the visual storytelling is so up there that there's nuance, you know, like there's a moment where when the messenger comes that, well, I don't want to spoil it either, but like you can see like you can read this guy's thoughts. He acted his ass off. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was really, really good.
Yeah, dude from Minus the Bear is a really good actor.
Shut
like
the fuck up. He's not that. He's not that like bear. He was this guy. Oh my god,
he was
dude.
He was a Viking. Yeah, he's fucking badass. And
they made him take off his shirt just one time, but oh my god.
The producers were there, and I couldn't.
The writer was there.
I couldn't 100% hear them when they were introducing the film, but I think they said their last movie was Thanksgiving 3, which if it was,
which
like,
they sold all the props to make money to make this movie. That's how low budget it is.
And day, like completely different movies. Honestly, I think this movie's going to win a shitload of awards.
It better. It deserves them.
I hope it comes out sooner than later because
it's a paragon of visual storytelling.
There's not anything really they can do to make this movie better. I mean, maybe
they could have added more like actual monster fights because you don't see a lot of the violence because of the low budget. It has to be off camera. Yeah,
I was gonna say maybe if they had more money and they could add a monster fight or two, but honestly, that might even take away.
No,
from, like,
I don't think it really would, but it does not lack for that. Like, I mean, it could have added that, sure, but it's great nonetheless.
Yeah. Before that was The Dead Center.
Oh, yeah. It was weird.
It was whatever.
I know. I wanted to like it, and I think I liked a lot of it. It was, you know, pretty solid.
I just wanted to stay awake during it, and luckily I did.
It really dragged.
It dragged ass for like a 90-minute movie. I'd say about...
Holy shit.
First hour of it is I don't want to say unbearable, but it's like
the mystery.
I don't care.
Is interesting, you know, like that they paint, but God, it really takes them forever to get to the fucking point.
Yeah, it's like, bro, you've been fucking for an hour. Will you just come already? And
well, I know.
Even when they do, it's kind of just like a.
But dribble. I mean, it's not like nothing happens during, you know, because there's like several deaths leading up to the climax.
Yeah, but a lot of the stuff with this movie happens off screen as well. But with like, it feels like more things should have happened.
I feel like we didn't get enough answers soon enough.
I feel like we
kind of like the story was kind of waiting for the moment when the 2-3 storylines would converge and like push it, but it really took them a long time to get there.
Yeah, that was the other thing, was it had 2 or 3 storylines going on at the same time, and I'm just like, yeah, stop that. It had 2 or 3 storylines going on at the same time, and then, you know, at least it kind of gives you an idea when the ending is coming. It's like, okay, well, all of these storylines are kind of converging, but at the same time, they don't focus and put enough backbone into any of the stories to make them strong enough that you care about them.
The leads kind of falling apart at the seams was good, I think, and interesting, you know. Although, did they ever explain his reason? Yeah, they did, right? What happened to him before he lost his shit?
I have no idea, because I didn't care. It's, I mean, a Jane Doe pops up in a mental
John
ward.
Doe.
John Doe. Yesterday I kept saying Jane Doe too. John Doe pops up in a mental ward and everybody's like, how'd you get here? Whatever, we'll take him in. And, yeah, it just goes from there.
Okay, so this is set in a hospital too, so that's the one thing I had a really hard time with because I don't work at a hospital, I work at a skilled nursing facility, and, you know, procedures similar sometimes, and God, it is really hard not to nitpick when it's something that's like parallels your career, you know? It's, I don't know, it just...
Yeah, Alia
the
in
pulse,
the middle
like,
of the
from
movie.
the very beginning,
going... She's checking his pulse with her thumb.
Like, everybody knows better than that, right? Am I? Yeah. I guess I'm wrong because I think that everybody knows better. Like, not everybody knows better.
Yeah, so that was the Dead Center, which is screening again tonight for some reason. I think there was better picks they could have rescreened. But first movie we saw yesterday was You Might Be the Killer, which...
that one was right away up on my top, I think, too.
Yeah, it's a callback to 80s slashers starring Allison Hannigan, and I can't remember his name, but he's the Scooby-Doo looking stoner guy from Cabin in the Woods. Shaggy? Yeah, not Scooby. It's really fun, you know, it's a very silly kind of turn the genre on its head kind of thing, almost like Behind the Mask. Not in that same sense, but where they take very clear established horror tropes and then they have a whole lot of fun with them.
It sets up and follows through exactly as an 80s slasher would. Almost. Like, and a little bit, you know, you set up the comedy too, but every trope has a twist or a, you know, it's slightly turned a little bit. It's very interesting to watch and it's really fucking funny.
Yeah. I feel like it might be just a scotch long.
Oh, yeah. They do a lot of time jumps, and I definitely felt during the movie that they were wasting a lot of fucking time doing time jumps.
Definitely. I mean, they could have kind of like just brought it together a little bit, made it maybe 5-10 minutes shorter, and really made it a lot more impactful.
But it's fucking hilarious anyways, and definitely go see that movie.
Allison Hannigan is great in it. And it's just really fun, you know. If you like those kind of genre bending movies, then this is definitely one of them. What was your favorite of the day?
Oh, Lords of Chaos, easy.
Yeah, definitely Lords of
Easy.
Chaos. The head
but it's hard. It's a close call with the head, honestly. Yeah.
And I think maybe if
my god, I'm not gonna be able to pick a top 5.
Well, you're gonna have plenty of time, so don't worry about it. I think if you maybe don't like black metal, the music, it might be a little harder to sit through Lords of Chaos, but definitely Lords of Chaos and The Head are the two major standouts. And I mean, You Might Be the Killer was really good too.
It's hilarious.
So that's basically day 2. Everything was...
It's great fun as always, even the ones that don't quite like make it to your 5-star rating.
Yeah. I mean, but man, when you got to sit through a movie and it's hard, it's really fucking hard because you're all tired. Today we'll be doing The Dark, The Boat, Possum, and I think that might be it. Alia is definitely going to see Tigers Are Not Afraid. I will probably be doing horror trivia since we sponsored it. And that's it. We'll have a recap. Hopefully tomorrow morning for you. We're going to get on the road for our 14-hour drive very early. So the day 3 recap may come.
Wait to see how bedraggled we look then.
Yeah, it may come on Tuesday morning, or we may wake up at 5 a.m. and do it. Who knows? But yeah, that's it. We got breakfast to eat and
movies to watch
and air to breathe and coffee to drink before we go into our first movie. So thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, do all that fun internet-y stuff. And never forget, we hate your fucking guts.